everybody's running Alabama, everybody's running Ohio State, Texas, LSU, Georgia. And honestly, that's exactly why you shouldn't. I've been breaking down programs the same way I break down NFL draft prospects, looking past the brand name, finding the schools with the right bones, the right geography, and the right upside that nobody's touching yet. And I found 10 programs in College Football 27 that you are going to have some of the most fun and most rewarding rebuilds that you can run. And I guarantee at least half of this list you haven't even considered yet. We're not doing the obvious rebuilds today. We're going hunting. Kentucky, we're going to start there. They are known as a basketball school, and that's exactly the chip on the shoulder that makes this rebuild compelling and fun. The program has real world momentum in actual college football right now. And in College Football 27, you're walking into an SEC program with underdog energy, a strong in state fan base that is desperate to believe. So why not give them a reason to do so? But not only that, it's the real world additions and acquisitions they made roster wise that I am really, really excited about. And I think they'll be a fun team to rebuild. Kentucky made it, they made a really strong move in the transfer portal, going and getting a very talented big body wide receiver with speed and athleticism and route running. And Nick Anderson, he was a really good player at Oklahoma, transferred to LSU. LSU's entire offense was terrible last year, and then he's now transferring to Kentucky. He has a new playmaker at quarterback in Kenny Minichi, who is what, the do-it-all, dual-threat quarterback. He has like an 80 overall, 86 speed, and then they also brought in C.J. Baxter, really talented running back out of Texas. So going and getting guys already in the SEC that they may have seen already in the previous years and adding them to their program. Their top two players, Colton Price, center with an 88 overall, and then Lance Hurd, left tackle with an 87 overall. So when you talk about teams and just the bones and the framework as that could be there for you to rebuild, right? This is not a team that has a 90 overall. This is not a LSU. This is not a Bama or Georgia or Ohio State. It's none of those things, or Texas. This is a team that the last time they were that it felt like they were a prominent name or team to watch in the SEC is when they had Will Levis. It's been years that he's been in the NFL. So for me, Kentucky is a very, very under the radar pick, but that underdog mentality and their fan base is rabid and they love football. Why not go give them another reason? Why don't you go and amplify their reason to love college football by taking over that program and leading them to the promised land? San Diego State, the sleeper's sleeper. San Diego State, Southern California recruiting territory with one of the most underrated pipelines in the country, and a program that nobody in dynasty mode is fighting you for or over. While everyone else is battling for the five-star kids out of Alabama and Georgia and Ohio State's areas, you're quietly building something very dangerous on the West Coast. And when you look at their stock roster right now, their highest overall player is running back Lucky Sutton with an 87 overall. He has 89 speed. He's got good change of direction and agility. He might be a player that you want to invest in while you have him, right? But the next best player is wide receiver Jordan Napier, who has an 85 overall, 91 speed. You have Tano Latuli, the Mike linebacker. They have some solid offensive linemen, right? Down their quarterback situation is a little, meh. He's a 75 overall senior, so there's not much development. He does have a red shirt available, but I think he's probably going to be the guy for you in this in the first year of the rebuild. Unless you do like me with Hawaii and you just take the freshman who has better tools. But I think the next highest quarterback is like 69. So again, I'm not. This isn't some like you know off the forgotten path or off the beaten path team, but San Diego State, always a well-coached team, always a tough, gritty, physical team in college football that just put a cornerback in the first round of the 2026 NFL draft, and Chris Johnson, who went to the Miami Dolphins, right? So they've always been good with showcasing talent, having talent, and then being a tough team to beat. And we're looking at the playmakers they have, why not choose them? Why not take over this team and take over this program and make some things work for you? This is an opportunity, guys. Again, California has a nice pipeline, right? We've seen it. We've seen, I think CJ Stroud is from the West Coast, is a Cali quarterback. Bryce Young, albeit they're not playing their best football right now. Bryce has not played his best football at all for the Carolina Panthers in terms of being to living up to that number one overall pick situation. But they're one of those. Cali is one of those areas that typically is pretty good at having just talent overall. So I definitely think San Diego State, you can recruit well, you'll be able to find you some gems and really rebuild your program quietly but dangerously. From the SCS to the FBS, it's Sacramento State, a team that has jumped to the FBS level. Sac State gives you one of the best tests in dynasty mode, building from the bottom with zero resources and earning your way up. If you want to feel every win, start here from the bottom to the top. Start your rebuild. The Sacramento recruiting market is more fertile than people believe and think. And I mean, you looking at their roster right now. It may not be the most robust, right? Their highest overall player is an 80 overall running back, and that is Jamar Curtis, 88 speed, 92 acceleration, and he's a senior running back, right? Then you have the tight end Jordan Williams and everything. Matter of fact, three of their top five highest rated players are all running backs. Bryant Collins and Sincere Rainey. Right, I'm looking for the quarterback here to see where do we start here. The quarterback is Carson Conklin, who has a 73 overall. If I'm 73 overall quarterback, 79 speed, 81 acceleration, 6'1", 185. He's a junior, so you're talking about a guy who he's already been redshirted, so he's a junior quarterback. He's on a little bit of the smaller side, but this is a guy that, hey, you can kind of work your way through the early difficult stages of your rebuild overall. But when you ask me, I think Sac State should definitely be a team that you are keying in on because, again, it's really just to have fun. And for those who are grinders like Coach Dame, you don't want the easy road. You don't want the easy task, right? Where's the fun in that? Where's the reward, huh? Where's the reward, huh? There's no reward in that, man. There's no honor in it, man. Now, again, if your favorite team is Ohio State, I don't blame you. Have fun, do your thing. I'm not telling you to go do a Sacramento State, but I am telling you to go do a Sacramento State rebuild because you want to test yourself and show that you can build a winning program. Or are you just somebody that just benefits from elite talent? If that's who you are, hey, Coach Dame isn't here to judge you a little bit. But the point is, Sac State just moving on up, guys like George Jefferson. He's moving on up like the Jeffersons, baby, and they're in what the Mountain West Conference. So, yeah, talking about a weaker conference, you might be able to win in about 2 years, 2 3 years, depending on how you rebuild your team. Have fun, man. Take over the Sacramento State, and let's see what you can get going. Next up is Oregon State, a team that's been living in Oregon's shadows, but how about we change those odds? The Pacific Northwest is changing, and talent is coming out of that region in a way it never did before. Grab this program, guys. Grab it early in College Football 27. Lock down the Pacific Northwest recruiting map and watch what happens when you stop letting your in-state rival take everything from you. Stop letting them do it, man. And they have a solid, I would say, quarterback situation in former Texas quarterback Malik Murphy, big body quarterback, really toolsy and everything as well. But yes, like Oregon State to me is a very slept on school that should not be slept on the way that they are for a potential rebuild, right? And their highest overall player is the Mike linebacker Aiden Sullivan. I'm looking to see quarterback Malik Murphy has a 78 overall, right? He's got some physical tools in terms of throw power and 84 speed. He's kind of a dual threat quarterback as well. I believe he's a senior this year, a red-shirted senior. So, yes, he may not have the highest overall, but he's 6'5", 239. again with 84 speed, 86 acceleration, and everything, and 96 throw power. That's what it is, 96 throw power. So if you can gain control over that arm and with the accuracy and everything else, you can make some things happen, right? You can make some things happen. Highest rated receiver is Aaron Hampton, 77 77 overall, 92 speed wide receiver. So got some speed to use that big arm of Malik, for Malik Murphy to really attack down the field, man. But I think Oregon State, and remember, a couple years ago, like this was a team that gave us. I mean, I should age myself a little bit. Jaquez Rogers and Rajon Wright. They've had some good players over at Oregon State, man. Demi Martinez, who transferred when his coach left. His coach left. Aiden Childs was there as well. They did recruit. I think what threw the program off is when the head coach left to go to the Big Ten at the time and went to Michigan State. And then you had um, Aiden Childs follow him, who was going to be the quarterback behind D. I think they had DJU for that one year. He was pretty solid and everything. But Aiden Childs, I believe, was the backup to him, the young backup. Head coach leaves, quarterback leaves. Running back hit the portal. He went to Miami and nearly made the CFP at that time and was a really good player for them. So yeah, man, when you look at Oregon State, the Beavers, they have some stuff in the bloodline. They have some history. They've been good before. Why not make them good again? From the FCS to the FBS into the Mountain West, North Dakota State. I think that they could be just a fun team that you bring from their first year as an FBS school after dominating. And they have 13 national championships in real life in the FCS. Now it's time for them to step up and prove, hey, we can build ourselves to being a big dog in the Mountain West and be a team that gets into them FBS's college football playoffs and dare we say national championship, right? But there's an infrastructure here. There's a tradition here. There's a winning culture already built in. And all you have to do, your job, if you take over this program, is to take what's already a dynasty at the FCS level and push it higher. None of they're in the FBS. And you got to think about the fact that what comes with being an FBS program? Well, better resources, right? Better money, better NIL, better conference, all of those things. This is a team, they have a really fun stadium, the dome and everything. I like what they have. It looks like an NFL stadium, to be completely honest. Yes, their pipelines may not be the strongest. I will be honest. You don't expect a very very strong pipeline with them in terms of talent in the area. But if you're able to figure out recruiting, find your hot spots, stay away from your cold and dead spots, you're going to be fine. And when you look at their roster right now, Griffin Impey, who's their left guard, highest overall on the team with an 87. DJ Scott, running back, 83 overall with an 89 speed. We have D tackle Keenan Wilson with an 80 overall. Safety Darius Gavance, 79 overall. So again, this is not a robust talent situation because they're taking that leap. They're taking that step. They're jumping up and stepping up, putting their big boy pants on and stepping up to play big boy football with the big boys in the FBS. And if you do what you're supposed to do as the head coach and the leader of this program, and you taking it over, you can lift them to higher heights. You can get them where they need to be. Again, the infrastructure is there, the winning culture is there. Just come in, fit in, and make sure everybody's locked in and go chase a national championship. Simple as that. Mississippi State is a program that often gets forgotten in its own state. Ole Miss gets the portal guys. Alabama and Georgia raid their backyard every cycle. But remember that this is a football-rich state in the country. And if you can lock down some of the recruits and prospects there, it's going to help you get rolling a little bit faster. And Mississippi State has taken steps over the past couple of years, I would say, where they seemed like they were one of the worst teams to last year. They felt like they were making the right strides in progress. And then for me, I think one of the biggest things is like they have not so much the infrastructure because again they're building, but I do like the groundwork of recruits that you get by joining them. Again, this is not a prominent team that you should feel like, man, I'm taking over a juggernaut. No, it's not that. They have some NFL guys right at the top of their list with Kelly Jones, their star corner with a 91 overall. He leads with all players with the highest overall. Fluff Bothwell, I utilized him via the transfer portal on College Football 26. He was a lot of fun to use. I believe he was like an elusive bruiser archetype. He has an 88 overall, 88 speed and everything. Then you get Isaac Smith, the safety at 86. Get a wide receiver, Anthony Evans the third at 85 with 94 speed. Heck, Kelly Jones has 90 speed. But the one that really catches my eye is Kamario Taylor, the young quarterback with a 83 overall, but he has 89 speed, guys. So this is another just physically gifted freak of nature quarterback at 6'4", what, almost 200 pounds, 6'4", 230, I'm sorry. He's 6'4", 230 pounds for Mississippi State. And I'm just telling you what I know, guys. I'm telling you what I know. This young man has tools. You hear me? 90 throw power, 89 speed, 93 acceleration. The tools are absolutely there for him to be an impact player and make things happen. You're going to have to, of course, upgrade some of the throwing accuracies and whatnot. He's a true sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he's still eligible for his redshirt season. So he's a true sophomore with an 83 overall right out the gate. So what does that tell me? That tells me he's ready to go and that he's going to be someone that if we can keep at the program, we can meet his deal breakers or pay him, break him off a little bit with that change, right? Cream, cashews, everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bills, y'all. Yes, I aged myself again. But the point is, with Kamario Taylor, you can throw him some NIL. You can, meet his deal breaker, whatever. But the point is, you want to keep him keep him on the roster, keep him with the program because he could be the face of your program and making that rebuild a whole lot easier. One of my favorite teams. I'm definitely going to have a lot of fun rebuilding is the Cal Bears. And again, the groundwork is already there. This is a team that they have a good recruiting area over there in the California area, the Bay Area, right? I talked about it earlier. You get quarterbacks out of there, receivers out. You get players from some of those big prep schools and everything else. There's talent that flows through SoCal and through California in general and from the West Coast. Talked about that a little bit earlier, right? So you think about it with Cal, people sleep on them because of their brand, because they sound and seem like a small school, because they have not had a lot of consistent success. But when you look at what they have right now, guys, I'm telling you, Jaren Kiave Sagapulitele, the lefty quarterback. Listen, this young man is going to be a first round pick, a top 10 pick, maybe number one overall pick when he comes out for the 2028 NFL draft. But not only, because they've done some good things. Let's look at their roster. Ian Strong. They get Ian Strong, transferred from Rutgers, big body wide receiver, 90 overall. He's their best player on the roster, 89 speed. I believe he is a senior, so you only get him for 1 year, but hey, it doesn't really matter, right? So then you have Dorian Thomas, tight end. So wide receiver, tight end, 89 overall, tight end with 83 speed. Then you get Chase Hendricks, wide receiver, 87 overall, 90 speed. You got a left guard. Then you get to Jaren Kiave Sagapulitele with an 85 overall. So you already are firing out the gates. You have more running. You have some running backs here with 80 plus overall. Another receiver. So that's like 3 receivers with 80 plus overall. Offensive line looks like it could be okay and be pretty solid for you as well. Hey, even in real life, I'm gonna be honest, even in the real world, I would say be weary of Cal in the ACC. Okay? I think they can make some noise with the moves they've made through the transfer portal and just the internal development of their players. So yeah, if you want a fun rebuild, you hit the ACC. You want to take the ACC away from Miami. You want to take it away from Clemson and keep them down and out, right? Florida State's trying to punch their way back to the top. Cal has a team that has talent with one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Why wouldn't you want to join this program and turn the Cal Bears into everything Aaron Rodgers wanted them to be? App State has a record, a history, whatever you want to call it. They have established themselves as giant killers, right? When you think about all they've done in there in the last decade or two, they've had some big time, and I mean big time college football upsets. What the 20 was it 2007 Miracle on the road against Michigan in the Big House, right? And how they were able to win that game. I think it was 2022. They came in as road underdogs against Texas A&M and they knocked off Texas A&M. So if you aren't afraid of anything, why not jump in to and take over App State? Number one, their color scheme and colorway is elite. That black, gold, and white. Their jerseys are always fire. I love the look. So you're talking about being swagged out for all my equipment folks in the community. Number one, you won with all the additions that EA has put in this game for our coaches, for our players. So thank y'all for fighting so hard. But look at this, man. Like, yes, App State, they may not be in the exact same position right out the gate. You know what I mean? When you think about some of these upsets they have and different things like that, they've taken some other teams to right to down to the wire. So I just look at it from this aspect of saying, hey, why not us? Why not App State? Now, yes, when you look at their roster, Colton Ferries, Mike linebacker, and is their highest overall player with 85 overall. You got Ja'Cory Lewis, running back, with an 83. You got Kanye Roberts, another running back, with an 80, right? And that's it for the 80s. Only three guys with an 80 overall or above on this roster. But that's what makes this such a beautiful process. That's what makes this so much fun. We're not sitting here we're not sitting here acting like, man, I can't get it done. This is going to be impossible. Good. Feel that way. Feel like it's going to be impossible so you can make it possible. Come on, man. What are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Take over App State. There's a rich history there. Think about the CPU throwing some big schools on your schedule early after year one, and you tapping into that miracle at the big house mentality. So you know what? Why not us? Why can't we get the upset again? You can. You will. Just take App State and take them to the promised land. That's all. One team I believe is truly underrated, will be a lot of fun though, is North Carolina State. Yes, every time you think about where they are in the ACC, they're stuck in the shadows. They got to deal with North Carolina and their past history of being successful, Clemson's history of being successful, and everything. But truthfully, guys, their roster is pretty solid and is very underrated. And they have a quarterback. And again, one thing that's really important, if I'm not taking over just a really low level school, and I'm just talking in general, right? Looking at some of these other schools that I've listed on my top 10, they come with a infrastructure, or they come with a base that I can continue to build upon. I don't have to build everything, right? And when you look at their in terms of NC State, when you look at their roster, they have multiple guys, multiple players. I believe what, 8 players, 9 players, about 9 players over the 80 overall. Victor Snow, wide receiver, 88 overall, highest rated player on the team. Brian Nelson, the second cornerback, with an 87, and then it's C.J. Bailey, their 6'6", toolsy young quarterback, 6'6", 213, with 84 speed, 90 throw power, and his accuracies are pretty darn good too, right out the gate. And he is a junior, true junior. So listen, he has a 84 overall. He may stay. He may stay for one more season, and if he does, that's great, because now you get to add on from the previous season. And who doesn't want to do that, right? Like, so you get to add on to that. So I think that's a big thing for me overall, is like, man, I get CJ Bailey, I have some solid wide receivers, I got some good wide receivers, O-line looks to be okay, I got a running back. Again, this is not a OP or overpowered or highly powered roster or program, but in our hands, why not? Why couldn't they be? We could really develop them. Give me 2 years with CJ Bailey. You take 2 years with CJ Bailey. Keep him on the roster. Keep some of those receivers who are eligible, and just watch them mature together. Watch them develop together. Next thing you know, you winning 10 games in year 2, year 3, and you're able to recruit. I always talk about Diego Pavi and what he did for Vanderbilt was big. They went and got themselves a real quarterback from high school. I think a top quarterback in the country. Listen, you got to have one to get one 9 times out of 10. You got to produce. And NC State and CJ Bailey can definitely do that on College Football 27. And my final one, it's Maryland. And Maryland is a school that just kind of gets overlooked, but they're in a good conference in the Big 12, and they've recruited pretty well. It's all about having the right coach, having the right system and infrastructure in place. And I believe you can do that. I can do that. And that's why they made my top 10. And look at their roster. Guys, listen to me. The Terps, which we know have put in quite a few NFL players through the NFL draft that came through their school. But when you look at the Terps roster right now, it's a really solid at the top roster. They have, I just talked about NC State, they have probably 15 guys with 80 plus or with a minimum of an 80 overall. But I'll start at the top and kind of sit there. Daniel Wingate, the Mike linebacker, 89 overall. I'm talking about helping your linebacker your pro potential grades when he goes to the NFL with a good overall. Dorian Fleming could be the absolute cheat code for their just for their offense overall. He's their tight end. 87 overall, 86 speed. You got Michael Hershey, who's a center. Their punter is one of their top. Let's see, that tells you something. Their punter is in the top 4 of overalls with 83. But then they have Zion Ely. They have Amari Jackson, who that's a corner that scouts have been watching for a couple years. I believe that's the same kid. I believe he transferred from Boston College. He's got tools. He's got skills to be a man-to-man corner, but 82 overall for him. And then you look at their young quarterback. He's a sophomore quarterback, I'm sorry. Malik Washington, 6'5", 230 pounds with an 82 overall, 91 throw power. Accuracies are in the 80s from short, mid, medium, and deep, and throw on the run is also in the 80s. But he in the high 80s. This is a young man that has 86 speed, 90 acceleration. Again, at 6'5", 231. Sophomore quarterback. If he does want to leave, you know what to do. Throw him a bag and keep it pushing. Like we're not letting you out of here, right? Treat it like how the NFL teams do free agents. You think you're about to come into my facility? You think you're going to come in here? You think you're going to fly in here, just hear what we have to say, get on the plane and go somewhere else and do another visit? I don't think so, bud. We're locking the doors, we're locking you in, and we're going to get this contract signed. You're about to be a Raven or whatever team you root for. You know what I mean? But the point is, that's what I'm trying. I'm not letting Malik leave for what? That'd be crazy. Malik Washington's not going anywhere, right? So having him, and that I always say this: having quarterbacks can absolutely lure in transfer wide receivers, long as you're able to throw the ball and play good on offense. Playing style would maybe be available for you if you want to use playing style. Not something I would recommend, but nonetheless, guys. But that's the video, man. Going over my top 10 schools that are slept on. My top 10 most slept on programs to rebuild in college football 27, guys. It is college football 27 day. And listen, I appreciate everybody. I'm up over 500 subs and I just started this channel. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Y'all show me so much love and so much just everything, man. Respect, the chopping up, talking ball, kind of going through different ideologies, and it's always respectful. So I listen. I love y'all, man. I love building a community here. But as always, guys, hopefully you found this content actionable, knowledgeable, engaging, entertaining, all the good things, all the good vibes that earned your like, your comment, your subscription, and that you hit the bell notification, and that you share this channel with another gamer that you know and love, so they can always be tapped into fire content. Because again, my rebuilds are going to start. I'm going to have Road to Glory stuff. Yeah, listen, I'm planning on flooding this channel with a lot of content, guys, after this game drops. You just give me a couple days after. We got the 4th of July holiday. Got to take care of family, stuff like that. But man, I got a lot coming down the pipeline for y'all. So as always, man, this is Coach Dame. I'll see y'all around the way. Have fun playing college football 27 today.